the next week or so in terms of who's away. So the only players that will be missing in terms of international duty will be Giovanni Lo Celso, who's been called up by Argentina, Emerson Royale with Brazil, and Davinson Sanchez with Colombia. Romero was not called up. Obviously, he's back now, but not expected to be kind of in match action until after the international break. Sonny's an interesting one. Sonny, obviously, he's been out with his hamstring injury and he wasn't expected to be back until after the international break. However, some quotes which will probably worry Tottenham from Paolo Bento, the South Korea coach. He hasn't ruled out trying to still call Sonny up, even though he's not in the original squad. Because South Korea, I think they've got a game tomorrow, a friendly, and then they've got these 2 World Cup qualifiers, which for them, they can qualify. And of course, looking at it from a South Korea perspective, you want your captain and best player to be part of that. So his quotes are, for Son and Hwang Hee-chan, the Wolves player, who have physical issues, I'll keep considering them. It's important to make the decision at the right time. We don't have to make a decision now. And he said that today. So that very much sounds like he's looking at potentially trying to call him up, which I don't think would go down with Spurs at all. You want Sonny to be fully rested and ready for when they come back. A situation to kind of keep an eye on there. And obviously the transfer window. Let's get to that because that second week of the international break, he may have some new faces to work with. From what I understand, Tottenham are confident they will get at least one in and hopefully more. I said this in an article this morning, and some of the Twitter aggregator sites took that sentence out, and I could see a Spurs fan going, "One? Just one?" And it's like, well, at least one. The hope is more than one. There's a confidence that they'll get some faces in. There's only 11 days left for Fabio Paratici, the managing director of football at Tottenham. I think we'll, as we've said, the 3 players, you've heard me say this before, the 3 players, the club have decided on they want, or positions, are a right wing back, a striker, and Conte's asked for a central midfielder if possible as well. So, we all know who the right wing back who is likely to be the right wing. What certainly Spurs want, certainly Paratici really wants, is Adama Traore. I'd be prepared in the next few days to see probably briefings from both sides of the divide on this, both clubs putting out various things. From what I understand, Wolves want 20 million and Spurs are well aware of that and are doing what Tottenham do. They will look to try and get a little bit off that, or they will look to do a loan with an obligation to buy. They will look for some way to free up funds for other moves rather than pay exactly what it is. It's just what Tottenham do. And it frustrates a lot of people. I'm well aware of that. But I think we're now at the stage now where, you're not going to get any player, probably not going to get any player in ahead of Chelsea, are you? It'd have to be incredibly quickly done, which I can't see at this late stage. I think, even to be registered in time, I don't think that happens. So you now know you have the rest of the window to do the deal. So, like I say, keep an eye on, you'll see both clubs kind of putting out information over the coming days over what has happened, what hasn't happened. Some of it will no doubt be true. Some of it will be to force the hand of the other club. And, But in terms of central midfielder, obviously the Frank Kessie links aren't going to go away. I still think that would just be so difficult to do this month. Right now he's away with the Ivory Coast in Cameroon, playing in the Africa Cup of Nations. If Ivory Coast go all the way, he will be there. The finals February 8th, February 9th. Even to get to the semis, I think the semis are in 3rd and 4th of February. Essentially, to sum up, he will be in Africa probably beyond the end of the transfer window. It's not the be-all and end-all for a transfer. I think Brian Hill's transfer was done while he was away at the Olympics, or he was already in Japan for them. So it's not the be-all and end-all, but to also be in what is an important competition for him and his country, difficult time to do a deal. And on top of that, AC Milan going for the title. They're in 2nd place. For him, this is a chance to leave with a Serie A title, which would be a huge thing. And also, From a financial point of view, as I've said before, players on free transfers in the summer very rarely decide to move into January because they're not going to get the same wages. They're not going to get the huge signing on fee they'd get if there's no transfer fee involved. The striker one's the most interesting for me in terms of there's very few names that are kind of out there. Spurs keeping, everything to do with that is quite close to the chest. I don't know whether it's close to the chest or just shows the difficulties Spurs have in signing strikers. I know people don't like to hear it, but there's the Harry Kane issue. There is, you have to have a player of a certain quality to play alongside him. Obviously, you would oust Lucas or a Son if you're going to do that. So to then go for a player that is going to likely be a backup player or a support striker, those kind of players less willing to come because of the getting less minutes, and especially in January, it becomes even more difficult. So I wonder whether that's why there's so little going around about a striker, and whether it will just be this sudden surprise loan signing of someone or of a player that you're like, whoa, that's come from left field in the final days. But Tottenham do need it. They do. Bergwijn showed, of course, last night that he can play alongside Kane. That was the instruction Conte said to him, to get up right alongside Kane and be like a second striker, and he did. He did it very well. But in terms of filling in for Kane, Conte believes he can. I'm still not entirely convinced of that. I still think they need a natural number 9, really.